Hello, beautiful souls. I am at one of my favorite hiking spots. It's crowded and I was going to leave, but then I just sat here for a while with the windows open and listened to the ducks. I love it when I sit and listen to ducks because you can hear how they echo communicate across the pond or whatever area they're in, and how if you disturb them, one of them will move, and then a group of them go and they kind of gather up the women to the center. It's interesting. And if not, they kind of travel around the loop of the ladies, doing their little bark and echo back and forth to each other. It's just a real cool thing to listen to. You sit there and listen with your eyes closed and you can hear them like talking to each other back and forth, kind of pinging around in a circle with the sound. It's very interesting, something I really like. It's been so nice to have some warm days and to get outside and to feel alive again. It has been a tad difficult, which I didn't think it would be, to go out alone in public again and be around other people. It gets harder when I've had to be alone for a long time. Not just the grocery shopping, but just being out around anyone. And it's not like I'm scared of them. It's like I just don't want to be around people. And like I said, it has to do with the energy level and the neurodivergent stuff too. But like I don't treat my neural differences as a minus anymore. Like they're a plus to me. And I think they're what saved my life many times, and what makes me an odd soul, or somebody who's out there, because my nervous system is literally out there. And getting sick over the winter, and having these HSV flare-ups, I realize how shots and things have this stuff that's supposed to suppress our nerve endings so that they can't fire off of other people. And when mine start to again, it's so raw. It feels like my skin is raw. In all of my life, I tried to figure out ways to cover this stuff up, the overstimulation it causes, and the, not feeling into your feelings, staying in your heart space, which helps a ton. But not feeling that I can't open up when I want to, like when I go out dancing, or when I go out in a big place, just because I feel like sometimes being around people, which is rare. But dancing is much more comfortable for me because I can get in a detached space and move within my own sphere of energy. Like I said, the only setback from that is people, again, that, they gotta come over and dance with you and make everything sexual and freaking weird and whatever. That's who they are. You just gotta be like, nah, down doggies, and thinking, at my age, why? Like, just why? But then that's not a thing anymore. It's like not even something you can ask yourself, because people got so many different kinks and are open to so many different things that kind of really doesn't matter. I thought, I always thought when I was younger that, oh my goodness, I'll get to this age and I'll get a break from that. No. So, the past couple of days, my nerves calmed way down because I was doing the work with the pine needles that I posted on my posts. Stripping the balsam and other stuff off the tree we had, tree branches and, well, the ones bent into wreaths. And having something plant-wise and something that smells great and something that can make me hyper-focused is great for me. It's the perfect thing for me. But I have plans to go out more and to get out more. And usually I get in the woods and it depends how many people's there, if I'm going to go hiking there or not. And I would literally rather have there be 2 cars in the parking lot and know that this place is so huge I'm probably not going to meet anybody, in there, rarely do, and I prefer that. It's not like, oh my God, are you scared to be alone? No, definitely not in any way, shape, or form. I've just met so many predators and met so much predatory people that I don't feel that way anymore. I think I shared that last year when I was hiking again. But yeah, going to look at the light on the water is huge for healing in the hormones, healing my eyes and healing hormones in the body. Like, scrying is not evil. It's literally something that will heal your eyes. Minimum, whether that's in the dark or in the light. Both of them heal your eyes. Both of them give you information. Why? Because your own eyeball's working, and that's what takes in information instead of people making it all freaking hoo-ha. And what are you connected to? Well, what you choose to connect to, which is a version of your highest self or your shadow, which I've talked about before, are what all these archetypes we slap on planetary stuff and call it divination, and it's just old people's 4D shite they used. So yeah, getting out again has been tougher than I thought it would, but it's healthy and I'm healing way quicker doing it, obviously. Spending less time around my parents and in that moldy trailer too, because it has black mold now. Been way better. Seems like mold, not smoking or taking any pot products, and not being super careful with my diet, I'll end up with HSV, and then if I had to take so many antibiotics this year that it's like back to square one with your stomach now. And I know how to fix that easy enough. I just fast and eat only beef. Now, I just fast and eat nothing but water because my stomach acid is so high that when I do that, it eats my stomach up because I have an imbalance. And the imbalance, I think, is specific to certain microbes in the body. My son has the same thing. And I definitely think it has to do with our type of evolution in our body and what we need to do. Biggest thing is I think it's how the body's saying get rid of this candida and don't lose your proteins. So that's a big thing. Getting off sugar again and probably chocolate is huge in not having HSV outbreaks at all. And when I can use Amnita regularly, which I'm out of. Looking forward to going hiking for more because I have some in the freezer, but I haven't tried out the potency of it yet. Definitely got to do that. Get back to my herbal regimens shamanically that I do. Pushing through the emotional stuff that came with the illnesses and the attacks. Spiritual attacks, definitely. Well, of course, having someone just block off your root chakra and someone F with your heart chakra and crown and stuff, all that chakra bullshit people can tie into when you don't expand. In order to make connections that aren't real so that they can feed off your energy and try to manifest destiny with your chakra energy so they don't have to use their own because they're lazy Fs. I'm the pirates of the sea. No, you're a dumbass because when shit hits the fan, you're spiraling down, man, not up with me. It's hard to find people like that get you. It's hard to find people that comprehend and understand what you really are. And then if they do, they don't appreciate you because they're too effed up. Oh, I'm brilliant, but I'm effed up. So yeah, not having those attachments on myself, breaking through that is always with the mind. Of course, the body's got to be in shape enough to do it, so thus the attacks from family, the monitoring stuff that I've talked about in the X group. And I'll be glad when they actually really are X'd. XO, KO. Yeah, I'll probably celebrate. And I've already started celebrating, whether or not that comes to be. So celebrating is super important. And celebrating in a way where I've had to keep so staunch and so disciplined and so literally religious and good girl and white light, I have to with my words and everything else, which is great. But when you're forced to do that, it takes a ton of energy going through what I did. So when I break through, I'm going to go out and I'm going to play. And instead of just having to bow to the heart chakra all the time, I'm going to say, hey, you want to go out and dance? And my heart chakra is going to go, and then it's going to explode through my head and down. And that's how you get creative. Grounding yourself, doing the things you love. And that's how you heal. It's how I've always healed. Even when I was in the worst situations with the first Mason, dumb son, family line, worm, parasite, even with the screaming and the beating and the never getting one moment of peace for like 5 years. Unless he had a temporary, and so he was throwing me out on the street and I had to go with my parents, or I had to go shite in a storm drain somewhere, or sleep under a bush in front of a church, which is a cool place to sleep, by the way, if you're a bum. Nobody seems to look there if you sleep right behind the bushes. And if there are no cameras at the building, where there was in the church that I stayed at, it's safe. It's pretty safe. It seemed to me like it was like one of the safest spots in where I stayed, to bring that up. It's awful, but there's so many people that are becoming homeless nowadays, and really, if you can get your heart space open in these intense spaces of suffering, then you can organize your mind and your creativity again and have a chance to come back to life and heal. And I was accused of taking the guy I was with life force. I've shared before, all he was doing all the time is drinking, drugging, going out, hoeing, and didn't matter who it was, what it was. It didn't get away, if he could charm it, if he could third eye BS it, then he was doing that, but he was the hurler in the club, the big fat sugar daddy with the ton of money, and I came along and ruined him. No, he ruined himself because he wanted to keep me and would keep me at all costs, and that's his problem. I have no pity at all for any of them anymore. Pity is the only way that they'll never change and never grow up. And so if you can't cut off one of these narcissistic people or whatever, gangs, because the person in the gang, is too intrusive and they hound you anyways, the best thing to do besides hermiting and keeping to yourself is to just never emotionally give in to anything. Let them say what they want to say and do what they want to do and be who they want to be, even if they think they're absorbing you. And they can't, because I will just, instead of fracturing mentally, I will just fracture and make an offshoot personality and find a new interest, something they're not capable of doing, because they need people's attention and they need people to, to see what I'm doing, and I'm doing all this for you, and I just love effing people over and controlling everybody and micromanaging and being the biggest left-hand bitch I can be, while also being the worst dumb horned crap bowler I can be. That's what they are. At the end of the day, to me, they're just retarded children. Sorry to say that. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say that, because the other day, I was listening to the radio and someone's talking about these women and women's rights and women's all these wonderful things women they do, and they kept saying and special and special and special, and I'm like, what the hell? You can call women special, but you can't call other people special because of their neurodivergency or whatever. And it's just like, I can't stand the world of fucking labels. It's why another reason why I don't like to go out. It's like, what right do you have to come slither on me when I'm dancing? How do you know if I'm asexual or not? Like, how do you know if I even want you anywhere near me? Like, how would you like it if I was all up on your grill on a Tuesday when you were trying to chill out? You know, it's like, it's what I can't stand about public places or humans. You know, like the people I told you because they thought they were evolved. The yogis, they're demigods. They're whatever they are. And they were the worst and stupidest people I've met yet. And I wish, you know, like I never was in the headspace so damaged and so distraught and so broken that I would have ever have given them a chance in hell. But I'd been through hell, and so hell was my only way out, and I went out. So having your personality fractured by someone else when they're doing horrible things to you on purpose is like fracturing your own after that to come in and out of where you need to be in your body, as I've spoke about before, and achieve homeostasis. People don't get that. They're not like, oh, you can't like utilize both sides of your mind. You'll get stuck in your alter ego. And they've got one. And they've got other people's alter egos like that they've got to play in order to have their destiny or to switch up life force or to off them and take over their body, which is eventually the path of destiny swapping. Everyone knows that has a brain, knows about destiny swapping. I love how tarot card readers are reading about it everywhere lately. And there'll be tarot readers that'll just be like, so on it, like it's the only thing to talk about. And then you got these other tarot readers that it just keeps coming up. And I prophesied and the Lord told me and God and nothing against that. But you know how I feel about that. That's themselves. And they don't know themselves. So whatever, that's where they are in the game. So, they're always saying, God told me this and God told me that. But then they're like, but I don't believe in destiny swapping. And then it's like, well, why the hell is God telling you about it then? Why the hell is your higher self telling you destiny swapping and I'll read these cards and make all this money off of it, but you don't believe in it? If you're saying you don't believe in it in order to verbally cast it aside, you should just do that. While at the same time acknowledging that other people go through it here and that your reality isn't the only reality, and that's okay. Like, I don't expect other people's reality to be my reality, because I don't need to destiny swap to get energy. And I don't have pity to anyone else who does, to the point that I would have no problem destroying their ego in whatever way that ego comes at me. And that took going in the heart space and healing and healing and healing until the upper chakra gets so freaking active that I have to calm them down, and I can't help but channel. But thankfully, you know, I can bow to my soul at every moment and say, hey, if this isn't the way we're supposed to go, you're the guide, you're the Atman guru, but if I have to protect myself all day long, you know, the Lord, the God, the upper echelon, the angels, the high El, the highest self, they're doing it for me. It's doing it for me because it's my energy. And so when my mouth matches the vibration of my true energy in my heart and crown, then what I say will come to pass. And that's why you have to sit in your heart space and heal really well yourself, because yourself is the point, not like those people trying to do horrible things to you. They're just like, they're the dog, they're the piss ants, they're the piggies, you know, and they think that's funny, so I'll call them that because they call themselves that. Whatever. Naga needs the Buddha, Buddha don't need the Naga, but that takes the Naga and the noticing of the ethers, which all Naga is. That's what it is, it's ether. And the light, you know, those snakes in the 4D that shamans work with and talk about, and there's all this symbology about. It's a covering and it's a protection at whatever level that is for you. Whether it's getting you in out of the rain like Buddha, or it's, being your shelter and your umbrella, or it's going about your neck and you are able to keep it here because you're balanced. I feel as a human being, and I've said it to people my whole life, whatever level that I have to keep that at, I'll learn to keep it at, for whatever society conditionally is in. And then I'll go to my heart space after to forgive myself, because nobody has the right to lie, cheat, and steal with me and think they're going to come up on my energy. It won't be fracturing myself or dividing myself from my center to take on any one of those characters I want to take on to benefit my highest self, and whatever fears or shadows I have, to make those like your strongest male-female polarity that you can be while you're here making your toroidal field. Oh, Sheila, you give away. No, it's all over the internet now. I said since 2017 it was going to be, and they cut it off so that you couldn't find all these articles online since COVID, but now people are speaking out with their throat chakras as it should be, more than ever. So things are getting revealed. I told all the people I was with for years, expose, it's coming down. You're not going to be able to hide anymore. So depending on whose energy you use to shroud and cloak yourself at, and whatever level is going to be what decides how you judge yourself, how the energy outside of you that's higher than you judges you. And that has to get to a place for me where I have no attachments and no pity for a person before my spirit can judge them. Like people, horn gods are severe. They want to say they're the law. They're not the law. The law is grace. The law is Bhairavi. The law is everything that holds the universe together. They're not the law. They're not the God. They're not the Abraham. They're not the Solipsis, only one. And that's what they need to learn. And they won't learn it until someone else teaches them, because that's their belief. Like, if they're not absorbed by another God, then they're going to trash everybody's lights and prove that they're God, in the gang, in the hood, in the fucking mystery school of bullshit crap. That's how they are. We need a new elite. No, you need a frickin' whole new system, man. Above, below, within, without. And us neurodivergent people are breaking it, because we're not the hewn men. They are the hewn men. They're using our energy. They're so desperate now that they go out and look for angelic beings or light beings or whatever you want to call that as the ultimate booty prize to take over. And the thing is with someone who's super intuitive like myself, when you take over certain chakra, the other chakras are going to just take over and be the intuition. And so you can cut off the crown, and you can separate, and you can cut down the heart space and manifest it for yourself and be all happy and fake. And you can go after the root, so you got some creativity, or the lower chakra, because you really aren't creative at all on your own. And you can do that. But someone who actually is intuitive and neurologically divergent and hasn't actually lied about it and said, oh, I'm different like you. No, they're not. Because if so, they would be able to survive and thrive without being fractured and having false personalities in order to take over everybody else's ability or destiny or any of that. Like, sorry, but you picked the wrong time to play Destiny Swapper with real intuitive people who have evolved way beyond you, because another chakra's, another wheel, another angel, another eye, it's just going to click in, because the body is covered with thousands of eyes. And it isn't just the column of the 7 or the 9 or the 12 or whatever you feel that is in the upper, lower, above, below. I'm on a 12 system. Don't care if anyone else is. More of a Dewey Decimal girl than a base 10, because even though base 10 has the program for here, it's not the program for the other chakra that are hidden, that are potent, that are unseen, that can't be tapped into. It's hard. It's like part of me really wants somebody to bond with and to walk with and to be with, but the other half of me is just like, everything I see is like, rom, 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 rom. That's vomit, by the way, in another language. I'm not intense. It's because I got one ear on a people and one ear on the ducks, which I'd much rather listen to the ducks. But that's what being neurodivergent is being able to do that and to be able to focus on your heart space at the same time, which, by the way, makes it glow up even more, where I was taught, oh no, you keep everything to the center, to the center, to the center. Yeah, if you're scared. Yeah, if you're scared. And you just get to a point eventually where you see, no one's killed me yet, why should I be scared? And not only that, every time they try to take me down and out, they learn a lesson as to what I am, and their shite goes back to them. And if I have to, I find another way to manifest. And then I find a way to break through my fear of going out dancing, and my fear of hanging with other people, and my fear of doing ceremony public on the land anymore. I've got people asking me to do that stuff with them all day long. I love what I do. Whether I do it by myself or I do it with people. Ceremony only is what you make of it, because it only is getting in touch with the within. Because when you focus too much on the external, you're going to be focusing on everyone's shadows in the group, which bringing shadows up can be healing, but then you don't want them to take over the ceremony, because if a person's holding that back within, it's going to manifest with a vibration outside of it. And then when it manifests with a like vibration, it may not be a character from the earth resonance or the Nagaro, whatever you want to call it. It's in the ethers, the ancestors, the 4D. It may not be fun to resonate with something that's low or extremely high, because extremely high stuff comes in and it's going to buzz you and take your current, and maybe you're going to be worse off, which has happened to other people that I know that talk to angels and get too high up there communicating with things they can't understand, which is why I don't hound those things, even though I saw them since I was a kid and had bad experiences with them. It's like, hey, if they want to talk to me, they'll talk to me. I don't need to chase anything or anyone here. I'm still receiving, I'm still changing, I'm still happy to be me and being grounded, and healing, and that's the whole point. Definitely don't want to continue to live in the city, because I just can't do markets that are so busy that I literally have to grab a basket and run through them because the aisles are so clogged with people, with carriages, seas of people. I just don't like it. I used to be a shopper. I do not like shopping anymore. My thing is hit up a thrift shop near my house that has everything for $1, and it's hard to find good things there, but you do once in a while. Especially like me with doing art, which I need to post some more of my pieces I need to post up. I stopped doing that last year because I had some dragon mama idiot woman who was a drunk or a drug user that started following me that did tarot. So I'm following her, and I really enjoyed her at first, but she was very wounded and very in her shadow, and she accused me of taking over her art and trying to destiny swap with her and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, that's happened to her, obviously, and she's stuck in that mode, and I don't want to be like that. So, so I'm doing my art. I'm working on 2 pieces now with ballet slippers because I love dancing, and I don't know what's going to become of them. I play with the things I have in the house. I also have electronics I got to rip apart. Do some art with those, and to have a studio or even somebody's basement or something would be hella wonderful. So I can't wait till that happens. But yeah, so far the invitations come from people that are in my group, or at least know of all the people. And so it's rare that I hang out with anyone from my past, even my own daughter, who things are clearing up between her and I now, but she knows that I believe she shouldn't be with the person she's with, and that's just my opinion, and it's just logic. It's not like, oh, him and I don't like him. I'm not that kind of mom. If you like somebody, I'm going to respect them, unless they disrespect me and try to slam my arm in a door or something and beat me up, which was like one of her, friends was like that. So we all had to let him go because he was a nutcase. But I've been the example of the vessel to take shite, since she was little. So she's had that example, and she can't blame me, but I can't blame her either while she's finding her own way out of her shadow and her lower aspect. So we try to help each other as much as we can with those things, because there's always going to be people in your life that are going to be like that, but the less you have to do with them hooked into your auric field and emotional field, the better. And that's the thing with people. They hook all over into your emotional field all the time when you go out now. Like, they just look at your clothes, look at your eyes, look at your this, look at your, compare yourselves, vying among yourselves, a drop in wisdom. Oh, hallelujah, great, you can judge somebody. And they don't even know sometimes they're doing it, but it's just so gross. It's like, don't stop staring at me, go away. You're staring at me because of my light, but you can't see the light because you're blind. So then you try to look for some other reason as to why you feel uncomfortable, and then you come at me like my family does or other people do in public, and it's just like, nah, F off, I don't want to be around that crap. Thank you.